it's Eileen Stapleton here.
Hi, it's Kim Johnston. We're from Your Life Movement.
And today, oh wow, we've got a big one today.
Go for it.
I've just read a book called, it's by Brene Brown, and I actually have to look at it because I've got to get it right. I thought it was just me, and it's on shame and guilt. And I thought, wow, what a really great topic to, I mean, no one likes to talk about shame or guilt or, but in this book, it's just, it's so powerful. And I think that whole thing about shame, oh, you brought shame on our family, or shame on you, and it is the lowest level. Like they say that people who commit suicide are right down there where shame is on that level
Levels of consciousness.
But the power of, is it power versus force? So it's a really low vibration. It's a really heavy feeling. Hopefully, you've never felt ashamed, or you've never felt shamed on yourself, because it's a...
And that's the level of, they say it's the master emotion. What is it? The most powerful master emotion that we can feel. And it's one of the last emotions that people feel before taking their own lives.
So it's a
massive.
really low
I actually had no
feeling.
idea.
And the top things that people feel shamed about is their body. They're ashamed of themselves. They're ashamed of their body. They're ashamed of it can be money, having
Career
no
choice.
money, careers, sex,
Body image.
having sex, or your sexual orientation. There's
Not enough,
so many
too much.
too weird things you're into. There's even your parenting styles. You can be ashamed of what you do, or how you were brought up, or where you were brought up.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I didn't realise that's huge.
And shame. So the difference between shame and guilt. So shame is where it's you're disgusting, I'm disgusting, it's me. Whereas guilt is you feel guilty. So you're like, oh, I did something and I feel a little bit guilty, but it's not you, it's not ingrained in you. Whereas shame is that where you just feel really low, and you can feel it in you because you think it's you.
Yes. And so that triggers what?
Well, that makes you feel terrible. It triggers depression. It triggers all sorts of things. Suicide, disconnecting.
Alcoholism.
Disconnecting from your life, from everything you know. So it's really, really important to how you get out of shame, or how you deal with it, is really by knowing, as her book is called, I thought I was the only one, is actually in being vulnerable and saying, speaking up, and knowing that you're not alone. Because when you speak up, then you give other people to say, actually that was...
I felt like that.
That was me, And I think a big one, even with mums, is shame around their body image, or shame around...
Absolutely.
Like in the book she says that one mum receives an invitation to a pool party, and she just goes crazy, like, oh my God, this is ridiculous, blah, 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 blah. And the husband's like, what's wrong? It's a pool party, how cool. No, it says that you have to get in the water with your child, otherwise... they can't come to the party, or they can't swim. And he's like, oh yeah, that's fine. And he's like, yeah, but that's because they're all skinny bikini mums, and I'm,
so body shaming
so
before she's even there.
She was feeling terrible in herself.
Yeah.
And so anyway, Brene Brown says, so you've got to try to recognize it, and that whole thing of, okay, how do I deal with it? I know this is what I feel, but I can't take it out on my child, or take it out on my husband, or I need to go to a quiet place and say, oh, okay, this is what I'm feeling. And I think the back to just that body image thing is when you see someone who's self-conscious.
Oh my gosh, they stand out.
It's more
worse.
noticeable.
Worse.
Just go and roll.
Like,
this is me.
why
you know
is
what?
she doing that down to the water's edge?
Yes. Why is she covering
me.
herself? Why is she taking her towel down to basically to the water? I think
yes.
And the other thing is, if they're all just everyone's looking at themselves, right? They
don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Like in the nicest way. They're not looking at you.
They're worrying about themselves.
Exactly.
Even the thin, tiny women.
Yeah, and just with our kids too. I remember what you said, like the other year ago or whatever. I had put on a huge amount of weight and felt had a huge pain body that I didn't know what to do with. And I didn't want to swim that day, that beautiful beach down past where we live. And you're like, who cares? Are you going to miss out on this beautiful opportunity just because you feel not right in your body? And it's kind of like, oh yeah. So I ran in.
Yes.
And that was the first time that I'd taken those layers off and exposed, you know.
I know, and had
it
fun.
felt
'cause
so good.
You miss out on so much
Yeah.
by not just getting in there and giving it a go and saying,
And if you've got kids, they don't care
care.
what you've got on or what you look
they don't
like.
understand.
They don't care.
They just want you there. They just want you in the water and helping out.
And don't lose opportunities.
Yes,
You know,
don't
to connect.
waste 'em. I
Yeah.
know. I've spoken to so many mums who say, "I just
So
don't do
true.
the beach. I don't do summer. I don't do bikinis, cozies." It's like,
Well,
why?
I don't do bikinis, but there's other
yeah,
options.
I don't do bikinis.
You could do full length now.
Yeah.
Like.
Do a wetsuit. But yeah, it's just, you know, I know it's hard, but I think noticing what shame feels like in you,
Yes, that's
what
big.
it tastes like, what it smells like, so that you can go, oh my gosh, I'm feeling ashamed. Why am I ashamed of myself? And kind of working through it and working to heal it. And it's through love, it's through empathy, it's through sharing, it's through, you know, sharing here. And yeah, I think it's a really low vibration, so don't go down there.
Yeah, we want to strive for you know, higher levels of consciousness. That's basically where we're at. We want to look at joy. We want to strive for love. We want to strive for compassion, empathy for ourselves, oneness. You know, all those amazing. I'm seeing purple layers of beautiful consciousness. So yeah, look, you know, if you don't have anyone else, just come and check in with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Have a great day.